So we have people in a maze trying to get through it. Where's the Minotaur in this whole situation? Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell, and this is once again coming from my college dorm. And today I went to see The Maze Runner. This is a movie which is based on a book trilogy which I have not read whatsoever, so I knew nothing of this movie going in, so I will also not be comparing it to the book itself. I will likely read the trilogy at some point. I have no idea when, but I will probably read it sometime before the next one comes out. So there is that. The story of Maze Runner is actually somewhat simple. The movie opens with Dylan O'Brien's character Thomas. He is woken in a metal box which is slowly rising somewhere, he doesn't know where, and he arrives at the entrance to a maze alongside a bunch of other boys who have also been sent up this way. All of them have no memory of anything which has happened to them except for their names. And that is basically all they have. They've built something of a small society, which is kind of reminiscent of Lord of the Flies in some regards, and it does follow a lot of Lord of the Flies kind of tropes in this book slash movie thing. But Dylan O'Brien as Thomas, he's an actor who I've never seen to my knowledge before, and he actually does a decent job in this movie. He was believable, he was fun, and he was a good action-y person, so there's that. Kaya Scodelario, I have no idea if that's how you say your name, I apologize if it's wrong. She plays Teresa, and she is someone who shows up about halfway through the movie, and she's the only girl to show up alongside all these guys, and she is also a very interesting character. She doesn't have a whole lot of character development per se, not as much as Thomas does, but she is still a fun character who I'm sure we will see a lot more about in the coming movies. The story in and of itself is quite an interesting premise. We have all these kids up in this maze type of situation. They are not actually in the maze, they're at the entrance to the maze, and none of them are deciding to go into the maze except for this group called runners, the people who go into the maze, explore it, try to map it, and come out and try to see if they can find an exit. Most of these kids have been up here for 3 years, and they are no closer to finding an exit. Once Thomas shows up, he kind of sets things in motion very, very quickly. Most of this movie takes place within a week's time, which actually kind of surprised me, is that all these events happen in like 3 or 4 days, and so that in and of itself seemed a tad unrealistic just because of how fast-paced all this stuff happens. I don't know if it's slower in the book or not, but that was one thing which kind of surprised me when they actually said, oh, it's only been 3 days, why is there a new person? But the story in and of itself is an interesting premise, and I quite enjoyed it. That being said, the story is somewhat predictable. It's not entirely predictable because obviously I haven't read the book, so I have no idea how the story is going to go. But in terms of certain characters that were going to die, and there's a lot of death in this movie as well. It's a very dark movie, which I was not really expecting a whole lot of. There's a lot more death than I thought there would be, and there's a lot more betrayal and rivalries and all that type of jazz in this movie, which I actually found myself really, really liking for that very reason. So it kind of had a Hunger Games-esque kind of feel to it because of that too, so that was really nice to see. The music in this movie is also quite good. I have no idea who the composer was, but the music sounds really, really nice. It's used very effectively, and I quite enjoyed it. Special effects in this movie are kind of the highlight of it because you have the maze, which is consistently changing around them, and it just looks really, really good. I don't know how much of it was green screen CGI or how much of it was actually like a built-up set, but for the most part it does look really, really good for the most part of the movie. Inside the maze there are creatures called grievers, and these are kind of robotic spider-esque organisms which are coming out at night and trying to just kind of roam the maze and attack anyone who is still inside it past the closing of the maze. I thought that these creatures looked really, really cool, and I enjoyed seeing them on screen. You could tell that they were CGI, but they looked really, really good knowing that they were CGI. So I had no real issues with those creatures whatsoever. I thought they were neat, and it was kind of cool to see how they can be defeated in a sense. The movie does start slightly slow though. For the first about half hour or so, I found myself getting kind of bored just because a lot of it is just explaining everything that's happening in the movie, which is probably explained in the books really quick, but they have to take time to explain everything now so that we understand, oh, this is what this means, this is what this means, this is who these people are, this is what's happening. They kind of have to find a way to catch us up on everything that we need to know before the real thick and thrill of the movie starts up. And the movie does catch fire fairly quickly in this movie, actually. After the kind of slow bit, it does take off pretty quick, and large scale events do start happening, and they are quite interesting. Like I said, it is a little bit predictable in terms of, oh hey, there's a maze runner, there's people stuck in a maze, and they don't know how to get out. I wonder what's going to happen in this movie. So there is that little sense of predictability. But the ending, by the end of the whole thing, does set the movie sequel really, really well. Like I said before multiple times now, I have no knowledge of this trilogy whatsoever, so I have no idea where this story is going. But the ending to the movie did leave me very, very intrigued to know what is going to happen later on in the films, and I heard that they are already starting production on the next movie, so they're assuming that this is going to be a really successful franchise. So I'm excited to see the next film, assumably next year or the year after. So there's that. There are a bunch of other actors in this movie who do a really good job, but a lot of them are too many for me to really go into. The main one that most people will recognize is the kid who plays Jojen Reed in Game of Thrones. He is in this movie. He has a significantly decent role in the film itself. I'm sure his role will be expanded upon in the next couple movies, but I enjoyed his performance as well. Like I said, there are a bunch of other actors in this movie. They all do fine, but the two leads are kind of the main standouts in this movie. Overall, that is my review of The Maze Runner. Would I recommend it? Yeah, probably. If you're okay with kind of the young adult-y feel towards the beginning and then it actually picks up in the action towards the end. If you have read the book, you might be disappointed in the movie because there's a person sitting in front of me in the theater who, after the movie, said that the movie was really bad. So there is that possibility. Like I said, haven't read the movie, know nothing of how closely it represents the book, how much of it has changed. But this is from a perspective of someone who has no knowledge of how events are supposed to be played out. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend going to see it if you are so interested. Let me know in the comments down below, though, what you thought of The Maze Runner down below. Did you like it as much as I did? Did you despise it a lot more than I did? Let me know down in the comments down below. Also, how closely does it resemble the book, if you have read the book? I'm just kind of curious. Please don't put any major spoilers in the comments because that would just ruin it for everyone. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe as usual if you so choose. I'd appreciate it immensely. And as always, my good people, my name is Nick Pell, and once again, keep on watching.